Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. Today is an awesome day here on the show. I will be officially debuting here, guys. I have an interviewer that I'm going to be interviewing here, guys, on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready and introduce him, guys. DMA112790. Come on, David. DMA.
How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Sit right there. Got the chair right there for you.
Thanks, man. Oh, this is a nice setup.
There it is. So what we're going to do here on the show is I'm here to interview and I'm going to ask you the questions. And without further ado, you have a Twitter account, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'll put that link in the below for you guys and you can go follow this guy. So now, you told me when we were backstage that you're a wrestling fan.
Yep.
Okay. Now, you gone to indie shows. How do you? And you says you're a wrestling fan. You have gone to indie shows and you have met wrestlers. Tell me and the viewers that are watching this how it all began of becoming a wrestling fan.
Okay, so how it all became with me becoming a wrestling fan was that my uncle at the time, he gave me for Christmas one year, I think it was '95 or something.
Right.
He gave me a whole trash bag of wrestling tapes. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking. This was '95, so we're talking like the in your house stuff, the all that stuff. And then he gave me WrestleMania 3, the one that has, which was the first one that he gave me.
Right, that had a lot. That actually had what 93,000 people in the Silverdome.
Yep, in the
WrestleMania 3, and you know, hearing actually Vince McMahon in the ring actually announcing all that.
Yep. That
was actually cool, actually seeing that experience.
The one match that actually made me a wrestling fan. Okay, and actually, to tell you the truth, I wasn't even that big into it like I am now. I mean, I was a wrestling fan, but I wasn't big into it like I am now. But the one thing that really got me into the wrestling business was WrestleMania 3, Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, in one of the greatest matches that I've ever seen. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to get into this. I want to get into the wrestling and see what it's all about. And that's where the trash bag of wrestling DVDs came in.
Right.
Or wrestling videotapes, I should say. And then, you know, growing up, you know, I went to all the house shows back then with my friend Kevin Bougie, who is no longer a wrestling fan, but we still keep in really good contact.
Right.
But he and I, you know, it was great, you know, saw like Undertaker live, Bret Hart live, Shawn Michaels live, you know, in those house shows. And it was fantastic just to see that.
Right.
And that transitions into now these independent shows that I'm going to now, where I'm meeting all of these people. I met Bret Hart for the first time in my life, and it was so great. He's my favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah, you and me actually went to one in Torrington, Connecticut. We actually, you know, we went to the Torrington, Connecticut, and the high school. Yep. We went to Torrington, and we actually went to go and watch an indie show.
And if any of you guys would be really amazed on how great these independent wrestlers are.
Right.
I mean, they are so freaking talented. It's just crazy. Mm. So, you know, and then I met the likes of, let me see if I can name practically some. I met Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who was a really nice guy. I met Big Daddy V when he was still alive. Mick Foley. That guy that used to be in TNA, Chris Sabin.
Shawn
Michaels.
When you met all these, you know, going into the next question, when you met these wrestlers, okay?
Yep.
When you met all these wrestlers at these indie shows, what's that experience like? Meeting all these wrestlers that you thought you would never meet before when you first met them. What's that experience like? Because a lot of people don't get to see that kind of stuff at indie shows.
No, it's a surreal experience. I mean, just to meet like your idol. Like I said, I met Shawn Michaels. I would never think in my life that I would get to meet Shawn Michaels, you know, and he was like the guy that he's a Mr. Showstopper. He's Mr. WrestleMania, you know, and I was just amazed to meet that guy. It's a surreal experience when you get to meet those people because you're like, dude, I finally got to meet my idol in professional wrestling. Like, if you met Hulk Hogan, for example, if you met Ric Flair, which I have met Ric Flair, and that was a surreal experience to me because I'm like, wow, you know, this is the guy. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, and I can actually check him off the list of people that I met. You know, and I've met so many wrestlers, and the first wrestler I met was Psycho Sid when I was like 6 years old.
Right.
And
he actually fought the Undertaker at WrestleMania 13 in 1997, and he became a WWF champion.
Yes, he did. And I can remember, and people think that Psycho Sid was like very psycho outside of the ring.
Right.
But he was a nice guy, man. And I was 6 years old at the time. And he was a nice guy. I met the Headbangers, for one, and that was surreal to actually meet those guys. So, Tito Santana I've met. King Kong Bundy I've met so many wrestlers. So, to answer your question, it's a very surreal experience, and it's a very crazy experience because, you know, you're like, okay, these guys play a character on TV, and you're thinking, okay, these guys are probably going to be the same characters, but when you meet them, they're the nicest people. And same thing with Mr. Anderson and a bunch of other people I've met. So,
make sure, guys, before we keep going on to this interview, guys, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, give it a thumbs up if you guys like it, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below, guys. And also, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the show so you can get more wrestling news, wrestling content, and everything else, guys. And yeah, now going into number 3, and I thought this was very interesting, you know, this is, now we're going beyond wrestling, okay? You did everything about being a wrestling fan and stuff, and we were talking about this backstage. Okay, you're a fan of music. Mm-hmm. You love rock and roll, you love hip-hop, you love all this stuff, okay? I'm not a fan of music, and that's okay, but you are. And so, you're a fan of music, and you're a DJ. Tell me what that is, when you go to, when you do these DJ jobs, what's that experience like when you do these events, like weddings and all this stuff? What's that feel like for you? You know?
Well, it's kind of a crazy fun experience because sometimes you will get the people that are like, no, I want this done a certain way. No, you can't play this type of music. You can't play that type of music.
But you must go to big events though when you're a DJ.
I go to
So what's it like, you know,
events.
when you go to these events?
It's a fun experience, and that's why I'm there to make the people, you know, happy, you know what I'm saying, and play good feel music. And the same with weddings, you know, if weddings want, you know, let's say they want Frank Sinatra, or if they want Dean Martin, you know, I have to make sure I have that, you know, compatible in my, because everything's technology has gone so far now, because back then they would just do, you know, they would use records and stuff like that and CDs. You don't have those anymore. You have like a hard drive now that you plug into your computer, and you have like a lot of, and I'm also a karaoke DJ too, so I have like 80,000 songs on a karaoke computer. So that, to answer your question, it's a very fun, great experience, and I love to make people feel good about themselves. I love playing music that people love to hear, you know what I'm saying, and the karaoke DJing too. I love, you know, seeing people that, and some people, when they do the karaoke DJing, they're like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, I don't have a good voice, but having a good voice is not the problem, because you have to, it's just for fun. Karaoke is all about for fun. And the same thing with dances. You don't know how many jobs I've done where the people don't get up and dance. It's crazy. Like,
so you must, now when you go to these events now, weddings or schools and stuff, you must get like a variety of people come up to you, and you want like this play music, country, or like, you know, like, you must get a lot of people coming up to you say, can you play this? Can you play this? You know, because there's so much different kind of music and varieties of music we have nowadays. You know, people want the old stuff. Like, what do you get when people come up to you and do that stuff? Like, you must get a lot of stuff that come up to you for all this different kind of variety of music.
Okay, I got 2 stories for you. The first one, we did a retirement party for, I think it was a 80-year-old woman or something.
Right.
And she came up to us and she said, do you have Gangnam Style by Psy?
Right.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Can you repeat that again? She goes, do you have Gangnam Style by Psy? And I did. But I was just so, like, shocked that she wanted that. Because, to go about your question, that shocked me. Because it's like, and she was doing the dance. She's 80. And she was doing that dance, you know, the Gangnam Style dance. And I'm like,
right.
Holy crap. And there's another story. Yesterday, we did a father-daughter dance at the Litchfield Community Center. Mm-hmm. And the girls came up to me and asked me for a song called Rockin' Robin, which was an old Michael Jackson song back in the 70s.
Right.
Little girls. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, dude, that's crazy. And this also just popped into my head. We did a teen dance right in the same location in the Litchfield Community Center.
Right.
And those kids wanted, keep in mind, they're 7th and 8th graders. They wanted Journey. Mm. They wanted Foreigner. They wanted Stairway to Heaven, which was an old Led Zeppelin song, very classic Led Zeppelin song. And I'm just like, oh my God, these kids are from a different generation.
Right.
You know, but they still love the old classic stuff. Mm. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to play some other classic stuff. Right. And I played AC/DC, I played Boston, I played Van Halen, and the kids loved it. So being a DJ is a lot of hard work sometimes, right? It's a lot of hard work, yes.
So while you do your DJing stuff, you told me backstage before we went on live mm-hmm. that you're actually writing a book right now.
Yep.
You're writing a book, currently writing a book right now in the process. What made you want to start this now? Because you do a DJ, you're watching wrestling. Now you're working on a book. Like, how did this come about? Please tell the viewers.
Okay, well, the main process, this goes back to junior year of high school, okay? And we were in history class, of all places. And my teacher wanted to know a lot about us, and she said, okay, write a story about something dramatic that happened in your life. And I immediately thought of my accident. If any of you have seen a video called My Story, you will understand what I'm talking about, because that explains how the accident came about, how I got cerebral palsy, how I got the brain injury, and all that stuff. So I did it. I didn't write the whole thing. I wrote like a page of it.
Right.
And I brought it to school the next day, and my teacher was bawling her eyes out. I mean, literally bawling her eyes out. And she said to me, she goes, you get a AAA for the rest of the year. And I'm like, what's a AAA? You know, like, I've never even heard of that.
So that's basically made you want to get an idea of writing a book of your own.
Yes, and my aunt is currently going to help me write. I'm currently writing a first draft of the book. I'm going to use that page as, like, the first chapter of my book.
Right.
And then I'm going to think of some other stuff to do about that. And then when that's done, I'm thinking about writing fiction stories.
Right.
Stuff that I can create in my mind that I want people to be like, okay, that'll be really awesome. And
so you actually are you enjoying writing this now?
I'm enjoying writing it.
Now,
yes.
Is the book almost finished?
It's not totally finished yet. Like I said, I am still working on the first draft. And the first chapter, the first 3 chapters I'm still working on.
Right.
And after those are done, I'm probably going to do other chapters. I don't know how many chapters are going to be in this book. I really don't know. But I am currently working on the next 3 chapters of it. So I hope it'll be done soon. I really hope it'll be done soon.
So that's good. I mean, you do a DJ for weddings and stuff.
Yep.
You're a wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. You're writing a book.
Yep.
There's a lot going on with you in your life. And also, you're telling me that you told me now while we were talking backstage before we went on. Actually, you're working on stand up, being a comedian.
Yes.
What made you want to do that? Do stand up and be a comedian. Like, what made you want to do is like this? If you're writing a book, you want to be a comedian. Like.
Yep.
Why'd you want to be a comedian?
Okay, well, I've been a fan of stand-up comedians all my life, and the first guy that came off the top of my head was Larry the Cable Guy. He is a funny comedian, and he's actually a redneck, too. And he's a very funny guy. You know, he comes out on stage, and he says the whole get her done thing, and it's just phenomenal. And you know what that's like, because you went to that show. We actually went to go see Larry the Cable Guy at Mohegan Sun for the very first time.
And let me tell you guys, he is actually awesome.
Yeah.
We never met him personally, though.
He's actually coming here.
Yes, he's coming. Yes, if you guys want your tickets, he's coming to Torrington. He is actually coming to Torrington, Connecticut, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I mean, this guy travels all the time. This guy goes everywhere, and if you guys
he's been in movies. I mean, he's done it all. And I'm gonna name a couple of other comedians that influenced me. Kevin Hart is one that influenced me. Dane Cook is another guy that really influenced me. Even though I don't find him funny anymore, he still influences me because back in 2009 he had a very funny, successful album. I forget the name of it, but it was really funny.
So this is what made you get into stand up and do it.
Jeff Dunham is another guy. Even though that's kind of strange for me to wanted to be a stand up comedian because of a ventriloquist. I mean, it's still very, very funny. I can think of others. Patrice O'Neill is another guy who currently passed away, R.I.P. John Panette is another guy, rest in peace. He passed away. There's so many. George Carlin is another guy, rest in peace. Bernie Mac is another one. So many guys I listen to, and I can't pick one favorite comedian because I listen to a lot of stand-up.
Now, do you actually write your own stuff? Have you been writing like your own scripts and stuff?
I'm currently. I have been writing a script. I can't tell you what it is, though.
Okay. Well, when you come back on the show next year, you can do some stand-up stuff if you want.
Yep. I've been doing. I have been writing some stand-up stuff, and actually, my main thing that I'm currently doing is I want to be like a stand-up impressionist because a lot of impressionists are really good. Like, I'll give you an example. There is currently a stand-up school going on right now in my town, but it got canceled because the guy couldn't do it because he was on tour that month. So it's currently like in the works, but we're not sure when it's going to happen. And I met one of the teachers that are going to be in the class, and she looked at me and she goes, "I think you would be really good as an impressionist." And for those of you that don't know what an impressionist is, they do impersonations of other people, like Jerry Seinfeld, for example, or Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with water? Bill Cosby's another one. Say the burn pops are the thing. That's what an impressionist is. And she goes, "I think you would be really good as an impressionist and also doing stand-up and all that." So I'm incorporating impressions in my stand-up. Kind of like if any of you have heard of Frank Caliendo. Same type of thing, except I don't do John Madden. I don't do... I'm currently working on a Robin Williams, and that's really difficult. Because Robin Williams is all over the place. I'm working on a Jim Carrey impression. I'm working on so many things.
So have you actually gone to stand up places like New York or anywhere in your area to go to bars? Have you actually done stand up at bars or anything?
Open mics? No, I haven't done that yet. I want to start doing that because I think that would be a good starting ground for me. As far as doing the whole stand up thing. Cause, I mean, not to get off subject, but you have a friend that's doing that, going to open bars and stuff, and I actually watched some of his stuff, and he's actually quite good. He's very funny. But yeah, so I'm currently working on stuff, and I can't give it away yet, but I'm currently working on stuff right now. And I want to be as big as some of the stand-up guys. I know that's probably not going to happen right now because, you know, with comedians, you have to start them from the bottom and then you eventually get up to the top.
Right.
But it's something I want to do.
Okay.
So I have a lot of stuff that I really want to work on. Like you said, the book. You said the stand-up.
Yeah.
The acting is another one that I'm doing. I'm currently going to acting school because a lot of stand-up comedians do acting as well.
Right.
And it's a lot of hard work. Like, people don't understand how hard it is to be an actor or to be a stand-up comedian or all that. It's very difficult.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm currently working on that, and it's going to be a fun process for sure, and I am so excited about it.
Okay. Hey, man, thank you for coming on to the show.
You're welcome.
This is awesome. I can't wait till next year you actually do some stand-up.
Thanks.
Until then,
thank you, man.
We'll see you guys later. Thanks, you guys. Thank you all for coming on to the show. I want to thank DMA112790 for coming on. Until then, guys, follow me on social media. The links are down below, Facebook and Twitter, guys. Until then, subscribe.
Peace.
Tune in to the next show.
Thank you.